I already tried this once. Basically, I already recorded this, live streamed this, and realized you could only see the face you're seeing right now. So we're going to redo it. So my name is Bailey Arelix, and I'm teaching you guys how to create a more in-depth way to create custom characters for the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm going to jump right into it. This is what you need to know. You need to know what you're making and how you're going to make it. Now, what you're making is you need to base it off something that's already existent in the 5th edition world. So I'm going to read through all the classes in 5th edition to show you what your options are and then what we were going with. So in 5th edition, you can play as either the Barbarian, the Bard, the Cleric, the Druid, the Fighter, the Monk, Paladin, Rogue, Ranger, Warlock, Sorcerer, or Wizard. So you can choose between those. We decide to make a branch off the Barbarian. Now, what we're going for is we're going for something called a Swordmaster. So that's the class that I've decided I want it to make. I want to make someone who specializes in swords, who branches off of the Barbarian. So it's not going to be a magic dealing type. It's going to be a brute force, swiftness, slice people to bits type class. So there's 3 programs you're going to need, and we're going to go through all of them. You're going to need a Word document or paper, an Excel sheet, Excel program or paper, and you're going to need the 5th edition handbook. We are using the Excel, which I'm about to show you in a minute, and I've already went through the process of converting everything. So basically what you want to do, and I'm actually going to pull up the handbook first to show you once I get to it. Just a second. 42. Yes. All right. So let's switch over here so you can see what I'm seeing. Okay. Making sure it's not going back to my face. This is what you're going to be doing. So I'm going to be showing you the finished product of what was in the last stream before I realized all people could see were my face. This is what you're going to be transferring. This is the Barbarian. You're going to be taking this graph and writing down everything from here into an Excel sheet. Along with it, you're going to transfer over all the Barbarian's hit points, proficiencies, and equipment. Once you're done that, we're going to switch page here to show you what I've done. And this is what the end result looks at. So we're making a Swordmaster, as you can see here. It's a branch of the Barbarian. This is the chart from 1 to 20. We've written down all the proficiencies they gain and the number of features that each level gave a Barbarian, along with the Barbarian's rage and rage damage. This might change and probably will change, but we wrote down what the Barbarian has so we can base off of it. We wrote down the Barbarian's hit functions, proficiency functions, saving throws, skills, and equipment. Once you've pretty much, in other words, transferred all the Barbarian stuff over to an Excel sheet, you can start going between the two and deciding what you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with the hit dice, the proficiency, saving throws, skills, and equipment first, and then we're going to move over to the chart, just because the chart can get quite complex. So hit dice. For the Swordmaster, a 1d12 at first level Barbarian, an average amount of HP would be 12, about 14 roughly. And the amount of average experience or levels or hit points gained per level is about 9. So this makes Barbarians quite tough. We don't want Swordmasters to be necessarily tough as we do fast and strong. So for this guy, instead of it being a 1d12, we're going to make it a 1d10. Same with the health. It'll be 10 plus the con mod. And per level, oh, not 1d17. It'll be 1d10 or 5. Plus con mod and plus plus per level after the first. So at level 2, you could do 5 plus call mod plus 1, so on and so forth, or 1d10, etc., etc., etc. For proficiencies, we want him to be swift. So cloth armor, if you want to go for, I'm thinking of a Zorro type character. So if you know who Zorro is, you'll know he wears cloth, he wears pants, boots, shirt, no leather, no pattern or anything. He has the 3 swords and the bandana, and that's all he is. So I'm thinking of doing something like that, building something from that. So we're going to make it so he can only wear light armor. But at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it, I want him to not be forced, because the worst thing with a custom character is if you customize it to where it can only do one thing. What if we want to go for a more tanky Swordmaster, maybe a knight? A knight in light armor is going to be pretty useless. So maybe instead of going just light armor, we'll give him proficiency in all armors. So light armor, medium armor. Do you know what? Let's go a step further and branch him off 2 ways. We have the light armor and the heavy armor. Heavy armor is stuff like plate, which may not be acquired within the first couple levels, but when you are able to obtain it, it'll pay off. Now, alternatively, you could go light, medium, and heavy. However, that would be, in my way, a little bit too overpowered, because then there's no difficulty. You're always going to have a high AC. So going light armor and heavy armor, and we'll be able to branch this off into 2 different ways. We have the fast, hard-hitting killer like Zorro, and then you could also branch off into heavy armor to the strong, sturdy knight in shining armor that can't be hit type thing. We can keep the proficiencies in shields, because if you want to become a knight, you might use shields. As far as weapons, simple martial weapons definitely will do. And tools, no training and no tools, that's fine. I don't use tools much even when I am trained in them, so that doesn't really matter. Saving throws, strength and constitution. We're going to change the constitution to... See, we also want to think about, well, if we got to take into consideration the 2 different type builds. We got the fast and strong. So the strong is going to be more health related and armor related, while the strength is going to be more speed related and hitting related. So we're going to replace the strength here with dexterity. And then skills. I actually need a character sheet to do this. Hold on. Character sheets, 3-page complete. It's always nice to have the character sheets on you. I'm just going to quickly load up my character sheet so I can get a base. Come on, pop up. There it is. All right. So let's see here. So animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, survival. We get to choose 2. 2 is a pretty good number. 2 or 3. There are some classes with 4. I'm just looking at the chart here. Let's see here. Animal handling. I don't really use animal handling to begin with. That's anything clearly involving animals. Let's switch to animal handling for performance. Athletics, intimidation, nature. Let's switch out nature for... We got intimidation. For deception, perception, and survival. Those are good. So we're going to keep those. As far as equipment, we're going for a Swordmaster. So let's do a great sword. Or B, we can go martial swords times 2. So you can either choose between a great sword, which would lean more towards the tank, or you can get two martial swords, so like katanas or long swords or something, to swing with. So we have the two hand axes and simple melee weapons. In this case, I'm going to go shield and chainmail for tank, or see, we got something for the tank. Now we need something for the more for the killer, I guess we'll describe it. And I'm trying to think. So we have the martial swords. What else would they need? Cloth armor. So cloth and we'll find this as an L, shield for light shield. Cloth and how about a simple melee weapon or a simple sword? Simple sword. There we go. An explorer's pack and javelins times 4. Instead of javelins, let's replace it with well, actually, since we gave multiples options here, we'll take out the javelins altogether to create a balance. So, and that's how we change it to what our Swordmaster is going to be. Now let's look over to the chart. Let's start. These 2 pages, sections here don't change because that's what every single class gets, regardless of what it is. Your proficiency bonuses don't change, and well, you only have 20 levels. So features, rages, and rage damage. We got to think. We don't want to use rage because that's a barbarian thing. So let's change the rage to something that a Swordmaster would need. Now, what would a Swordmaster need? I'm thinking focus. Focus to concentrate on attacks to increase their chance of hitting and the effectiveness on their hits. So we're going to branch off of that with focus. It's got rid of... Why did you do that? That's what it did last time. Do this. See, I actually have this thing, the control panel pulled up now so I can see when it changes, because for some reason it just wants to change. So we're going to do focus. And focus will function similar to rage, but we'll figure out what we want it to do in a minute. Now the last chart is what I think I misspelled focus. Hold on, did I misspell focus? I'm getting an autocorrect here. Focus. No, I didn't. Okay. So now, what do we want to replace rage damage with? How about something that will... See, we could get rid of it altogether and just not worry about it. However, then we'll be down compared to other classes, which could make us weaker. So how about we do... I know. We'll do mastery. Mastery. As you level up, so we'll do even more sword mastery. So this will be a reason to use swords, even though we're primarily focusing on swords. Sword mastery. So with every level, you have a mastery, which increases what something do. So focus we can use to use different features, different sword techniques. And sword mastery, we can do... Let's change it to plus. So increase or accuracy rolls +2. We can do that. And we can keep that for the first few levels. So this being at level 4, when you get an ability score increase, you get an accuracy score increase from +2 to +3. Accuracy rolls +3. C rolls +3. It's not copying anymore, which pisses me off. Rolls +3. And then at level 8, we'll change it to +4. So accuracy rolls +4. +4. +4. +4. And let's see, how far do we want to increase this? So it's every 4 levels, it's increasing. 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So at level 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, we'll increase it to 5. And then 13, 14, 15. So at 16, we'll increase it again. And 20, we'll increase it again. Rolls +5. Rolls +5. Roll +5. 16 accuracy rolls +6. C rolls +6. Okay, I have a feeling I've been misspelling. I don't care. Rolls. C rolls +6 and actually rolls +6. Now that I look at it, it seems wrong. But it's not. All right, and if it is, then my autocorrect's wrong. So now that we've done sword mastery, we can now do the focus. So what do we want the focus to be? Well, I'm thinking of it sort of like the Kai I used with my Sand, with monks, with the rage that barbarians have, where if they have rage to do certain things, that's what I'm thinking we should do for this. So in that case, for this balance here actually might be perfect. But we might need to tweak it a little bit because we're thinking, how much is one thing going to have? So we want to base it off how many features we have. We have 2 features at level 1. So having 2 focus that uses 1 focus each may be good. Now, let's say we get to level 10. How many features do we have? We'd have 2, 4, 6, 8. We'd have 9. Would having 4 focus be enough for something of 9? Would that be a balance? I honestly think that'd be weaker. So I'm thinking that every other level we increase it. So I guess every 2 levels, because like level 1 it's 2, level 2 it's 2, level 3 it's 3, level 4 it's 3, and level 5 it's 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. We gotta be careful here. So at level 1 we have 2, at level 2 we have 2, at level 3 we have 3, level 4 we have 3, level 5 4, level 6 4, level 7 5, level 8 5, level 9 6, 6, 7, 7. Oh. 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11. Now, is that balanced? Let's look at that. So at level 1, we have 2. At level 10, we have 9 with 6 focus. That seems a little bit more balanced. So that means that every other level, so 1, 3, 5, 7, etc., we are increasing the amount of focus that we have by 1. And that is what I see as a fair transfer over. So now that we have that, we have to determine, well, what are our features going to be called? And to do that, we have to look over to the player's handbook and to our chart at the same time. So let's do that right here. Entire screen. Make sure that that's not what they can see. Okay, perfect. So this is where we look at the Barbarians features versus ours. So at level 1, the Barbarians have Rage and Unarmored Defense. So what do we want to transfer those over as far as this goes? So I'm thinking instead of Rage, we have Focus. Focus. And instead of Unarmored Defense, Sword Defense. Now, we don't need to explain what these do at the moment. We just have to have a general idea in our mind of what they do. Now, level 2. Can you stop? Are you what? I have a feeling that's all you can see. Hold on. Let's do. I guess that'll work. All right. I'm just hoping right now you should be able to see that. I'm just hoping if I minimize this, because when I mouse over it says that that's what you're still seeing. All right. Anyways, we need to be paying attention to here anyways. So next is Reckless Attack and Danger Sense. So what does Reckless Attack do? Well, Reckless Attack allows you to throw aside all concern and deal more damage. So that sounds pretty good. And then Danger Sense, you gain an uncanny sense of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. So we gotta be with our features, we gotta kind of be splitting them in half so that way you can choose whether you want to be that killer or that knight that we're aiming for. So in our Excel sheet, for instead of a reckless attack, we're going to do, we can't just say reckless attack because that's a barbarian thing. We might be doing something similar to it, but we're going to change it up as much as we want it to. So let's do, I got it. Instead of reckless attack, we're going to gain the capability of swinging with both weapons. So we'll do double strike, which will be put towards the killer. And then with danger sense, we'll make that more towards the knight, and we'll do awareness. Or we can do Toughen up. Toughen up. Toughen up. All right. So at third level, the barbarians get something called Primal Path, which we will replace with well, basically what it does is at third level, you choose a path that shaped the nature of your rage. You choose the path of the Berserker or the path of the Totem Warrior, both detailed at the end of the class description. Your choice grants features at third level, and again at 6th, 10th, and 14th. And this is where we could branch it off. So instead of doing that, we'll do the Swordmaster's version of what a primal path would be. So we'll do, it'll be called the Chosen Code. Chosen Code. Because a knight lives by a code of honor, while the killer lives off a code of crime type of deal. We get the ability score, an extra attack, and one feature. So this is where it gets a little bit OP, because now with a level 5, you already swing with 2 weapons. So now you get to swing with 2 weapons twice. However, at level 5, that could be a good thing. So we're going to keep it. We also gain one more feature, however, and that is fast movement in case for barbarians, which increases your speed by 10 feet while you aren't wearing heavy armor. Since we have this double strike, we're going to get rid of that feature altogether and just give an extra strike. Next, level 6. What do the barbarians gain at level 6? They gain a path feature. Which is indicated, at the end. So we'll do the same thing. We'll do a code feature. And now let's try and find this. So 6. All right. So how are we going to do this? Okay. So we're going to go code feature, and depending on which code, where are we? Right here, yeah. So depending on which code we chose at level 3, will determine which feature we get here. So we'll make them quite identical. So if we're going with this killer, which is a fill-in name for right now, we'll gain something that lets us, I don't know, let's say gives us an advantage. So we'll do Killer's Instinct. And then the knights will be the Iron Shield. So these are features that only a certain code can get. So if you're choosing this killer path, you can get the Killer Instinct. And if you've chosen this knight path, once again, also filler, you get this Iron Shield. All right, at level 7, the barbarians get something called Feral Instinct, which on that you have an advantage on initiative rolls, and additionally if you're surprised. So basically, we're just going to go Sword Masters, or so we'll do Awareness for this one. Awareness. And we'll define what that does later on. Ability score increase, and here we get another set of code features. This time we'll do, we'll give it like actual abilities. So we'll do a Brutal Strike. And how about, careful. I want something to deal with like fear. Because if we're going this night, we want them to be strong, but we also want them to be fierce. So that way, like, he can just roar and send shivers down people's spines. So I'm thinking we're going to go... Brutus Strike would be a type of strike. So maybe we'll do two different types of strikes. That way the knight can have an extra safe damage. So we'll do Brutus Strike and we'll do Justifying or Smite of Justice. Smite of Justice. Because knights are clearly going to be more honorable. At level 10, we gain one feature, and that feature here is... Actually, it doesn't tell me. Where is this? What's it say in the chart here? Level 10 is another path feature. Because level 9 gave this brutal critical. So since we gave we're going like every 3 levels with the code feature, level 10 will be just a generic one. That's what it is right there. I'll determine the next name. So we'll do... Let's do... We have a lot of damage output in these first 9 levels, so let's kind of spread it out into speed and defense a little bit more. So that way the higher level you get, the faster or sturdier, depending on what you want to go to, is, or in generic. Because we don't want a really fast but really weak Swordmaster who dies in one hit. He needs to be able to take a hit too. So let's go with an increased movement. Increased movement. At level 11, we'll give something. The Barbarians have Relentless Rage. So let's do Inner Focus. Inner Focus. And that will be something that will help regenerate our focus. See, I'm starting to think of ways to balance this myself because I haven't been taking in the focus. So we might be able to do a lot of this stuff here as actual focus. So I'm thinking like the double strike here, a band attack another time takes up a focus point, which can make it a little bit even more balanced. So it's not overused. So yeah, inner focus, I like that. And then at level 12, we're going to do block. We're going to do not block. We'll give a block feature which will require focus to be able to block an attack with your weapons. If you're going for the killer, with your swords. If you're going for the knight, with your shield, sword, whatever. All right. Level 12 is also a code feature. So we'll save block for level 13. So we'll go code feature and we'll give more attacks for this one that require, or abilities that require focus. So let's give Final Strike. That sounds nice. Final Strike. And we already have Iron Shield, so how about instead of an Iron Shield, we have Iron Skin? No, because we already have something to be similar to that. How about Final Strike and Honorful? I'm trying to think of what I would want it to do. I want this to be an attack. So how about Judgment? Judgment, yes. So here we'll have the block, and then at 14 we can do now see what I'm just thinking here is maybe after a while you decide that you don't want to follow this path. So maybe you want to switch paths. Level 14 seems like a pretty good level for you to do so. It's not exact. It's a little bit past the middle, but do you know what? We'll do this. So we'll do change path. Change path. Which will change code in this case. So you can switch to the other code. And then at level 15, what do they get at 15? They get persistent rage. So we'll do. Did my dog really get out? No, never mind. She's just okay. I heard my mom going, "Here, Darby, here." So I'm just like, "Oh God, did she get off her leash?" No, she was just outside on her leash. Anyways, so we're going to do the opposite of what this persistent rage is. So we're going to do increased focus. Increased focus. So that way, oh, see, actually, no, that doesn't make sense. We'll do prepared. Prepared. So this is a move that I'm thinking that once per encounter, you can use a move that would require focus without the focus cost. You're prepared for it. 16, we have the code feature, 12, 13, 14. Well, technically, we were supposed to have it at 15. Okay. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, yep. So let's switch this with prepared code feature. Now, at level 14, if you don't want to change the code, then, well, you just don't gain anything. However, if you did, this is your chance to do so. So now, let's see, code features. Let's go for, so we got a final strike. So let's go more movement. So swift action and swift decision. What I'm thinking here is for swift action will allow you to dodge out of an enemy attack in exchange for focus and a roll. And swift decision would be to take a hit for an ally. So we got prepared. So 16, 17. So 16, 17. So 18 is going to be our next code. And then 20 will also give something. So 17, what do they have down for 17? They have their primal thing. So this is where we can explore. We're going to do, since we're reaching the flurry of blades. This is where knight or killer, regardless, you get X amount of attacks, which we haven't decided yet. But I'm thinking just like if you were for the killer instance, you just start like spinning and swinging your blades like no tomorrow, slicing up your opponent. And with the knight, the same deal. You just go, oh, you think I'm slow? Dead. You know? All right. So next, our last code feature will be, let's do something, or swift slice, and final goodbye. Something else that would help allies. Honorful. No. How about Swift Slice and see, I'm trying to think of something. I want this to be more like this for the night. It has to be because we're following the code feature that we have laid out. So I'm thinking I'm thinking of like I want to do this so my ally doesn't die. So we'll do no regrets. No regrets. Ability score increase, and the final one, this has got to define the Swordmaster unit. So we're going to do a move called Swordmaster. So this, I'm going to switch the screens again. You're going to see my beautiful face for a brief moment. So this is what we've ended up with. We have the Swordmaster, which is a branch of the Barbarian. We have the hit points, the proficiencies, the saving throw, the skills, and the equipment you can choose from, along with the sword branch of what they get. This concludes part 1 of a detailed way to build custom characters. Now, next time, we are going to go into detail on what each of these features does, what the weak versions of them are, what the strong OP versions of them are, and what the balanced and overall final decision of what each feature does. After that, the third part is going to consist of us trying out this Swordmaster at multiple levels against AI to see if what I've chosen is balanced or not. If we find something that's still too strong or too weak, we're going to tune it. And then the final part, we're going to build a final Swordmaster at beginning level, mid level, and end level to see what they will look like along their life. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.